You're listening to The Drive, guys. I'm not going to have this dude wait any longer, High Flyer. I'm going to bring him on right now. Kings legend himself, Richmond, joining The Drive, guys. Mitch, what's up, man? You're on with Kyle and High Flyer. How you doing, bro?
Man, how you guys doing, man? Nice to talk to you.
Hey, here's the deal. I mean, you got to give it to him right now. I'm talking All-Star MVP Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Mitch Richmond.
Put some respect on that,
Put some
right?
respect on it, dog. You can't leave off the Hall of Fame.
Come on in. I see you.
Mitch, thanks for jumping on, man. Obviously, it's a big night here in Sacramento. Kings, Warriors. You played for both franchises. You see where they're at now. What do you think about these two franchises now becoming rivals just an hour and change apart right now?
Man, I thought it was always a rival, but I think Sacramento now has really put together a beautiful team, a team that is competitive, and really kind of plays a style like Golden State plays. A lot younger group, and they also have size with the big fella, Sabonis.
You know what, Mitch? I want to ask you this, man. You started off down in Golden State, and because when you talk about Sacramento being a destination for free agents, talk about your transition from when you left Golden State and just came an hour down to Sacramento.
Yeah, I think at that time, man, it was pretty difficult for me because of the success that Golden State was having and that we were having on that squad, and then coming down right down the street. Sacramento was we had some good young talent, but at that particular time, we were really trying to find our identity and really trying to establish ourselves. So it was a difficult move for myself. But I think now, free agents are looking at Sacramento as a destination of free agency. I think Mike Brown has put together a great unit. He has a great bench. He also has some good starters, and they're playing, I think, unselfishly like you want to play.
Mitch Richmond, the 5-time All-NBA, 6-time All-Star, All-Star Game MVP, All-Rookie Squad, Rookie of the Year. Is that enough accolades, High Flyer?
Hey,
I'm putting respect on my man.
Hey, this my dude, man. You got to give him all his flowers.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. You doing your thing. You gave me some love. I hear you.
Me and Mitch used to do TV together. That first year I was here in Sac, Mitch and I were on the pre and post game together, man. And I remember those early days, Mitch. It was some lean years, man, with this team, talking about the Kings. They were struggling. I was looking like, man, what did I get myself into? To see the growth of this franchise, and specifically a guy like De'Aaron Fox, Mitch, what do you think about his development over these last few years?
Well, I think if you look back when he first came into the league, he was struggling, I think, with his outside shot, really trying to find his rhythm, but he was definitely a great talent. And I think it has to go also, you have to play the right style. With a guy like him, who is probably one of the fastest guys in the league, you need to play an up-and-down style. And I think now he's showcasing his talents. No one can stay in front of him. And then now when you're trying to stay in front of him, he can hit the three. I think he's making his free throws now. I think he's becoming more of a leader, and he knows that this is his ball team now. So he's playing outstanding.
And you know what, Mitch? I'm glad you brought up the word style, because that's a huge thing for this Sacramento Kings team. They like to run up and down, and a lot of people forgot who was the master orchestrator of the small ball run up and down the floor. I keep telling people all the time, first thing they want to talk about, it was Mike D'Antoni. I'm like, no. Don Nelson and the Golden State Warriors started that small ball when y'all put Rod Higgins at the 5.
No question about it. And I think when you have talented players on your team, in order to keep everyone happy, you have to play a fast style to get everyone touches, give everybody opportunities, and you have to play an unselfish way. And you can see that the Kings are really kind of, and it's really hard for a young team to kind of play that way and buy in. But I think you got, Mike Brown, who's at the helm, who's really showing these guys that if you play unselfishly, passing up shots, or not passing up shots, but passing up to a great shot. And you see the ball movement is on the ball movement is crazy at times in the game, that they're having a good shot, but they're getting a greater one later on. So they're really fun to watch. It used to be where Golden State was the only team in the league. Was really truly fun to watch by how they really kind of share the ball. Now Sacramento has taken on that type of identity, and it's fun to watch. It really is.
Mitch Richmond starred here in Sacramento for 7 seasons. Now tonight, the Kings taking on the Warriors. Draymond Green's first back from a 5-game suspension, Mitch. What do you make of a player like Draymond and him getting suspended? And how should Kings fans and players, approach him tonight? Because, me and High Flyer, we're arguing, every team needs a Draymond, all this. I'm saying I get that, but come on, man, it's a line you can't cross.
Yeah, I think, sometimes he kind of toed the line on both sides. But I think if he doesn't do it, they don't have another guy on that team that can really kind of bring that presence and that attitude with that team. And I think, that's why the Golden State Warriors really kind of back him like that, because if he doesn't bring that intensity and that toughness, that team is, really kind of like a lot of good guys, a lot of just play their style and, don't talk much. But they have to have a little nastiness to them. And I think Draymond Green brings that. And sometimes he definitely toes the line.
Now,
you're looking at Sacramento now. Sabonis is kind of that guy as well. He kind of gets up under your skin a little bit, kind of beats you up. And he's the enforcer as well as for with Sacramento. I mean.
Okay, Mitch, we're gonna do this like this, bro. I want you to keep it straight 100 with your boy, because I know you. All right,
straight up. What's up?
We're talking just the last fraction by Draymond Green on Rudy Gobert. Now, back in our day, would you see Draymond? Now I want you to answer yes or no. Would you see Draymond Green running up on Xavier McDaniels?
No. At that time, guys was throwing. You know what I mean? guys was throwing at that time. You know what I mean? So I don't see that. I think you got to, Draymond knows the rules of the game. No one is going to throw a punch. And if you throw a punch, you'd probably be gone for a long period of time. The rules was definitely different back then, and you didn't try to change or turn your back on anybody. You tried to square off on the whole team. And if you had any problems, you wanted space. And you want to look around and see who's coming at you. And so I think, Draymond is the enforcer, man. That's what he does. No question.
Okay, but I'm just saying, back in the day, he wasn't running up on Anthony Mason and Charles Oakley and doing
he
what
knew
he
what he
does.
was doing. Rudy Gobert is soft as tissue. We know that. He could get away with it.
I mean, Draymond, I mean, it's like anything. People know who to run up on. No question about it.
And then last part of it, Mitch. Okay, he does his thing, but how many times when we played, if a player was touching you up, we made sure he was gonna feel it. If a dude was touching you up, and when I came in and subbed for you, all you had to say is, "Hank, touch him up a little bit." And bro, believe me, he was sore when I came out the game.
Oh, no question about it. But I think we all have to look back. And back in that time, that happened a lot because we were able to get a shot off on the guy if he goes through the lane. We've been able to hit him every once in a while. Now you can't even touch no one. So it's very hard to get your lick off and then not look like it's, I tried to do it. You know what I mean? It's very hard to do that now. Usually when you come through the lane, you're looking at the ball and the guy comes, you give him a little shoulder like, oh, man, I ain't even see him. My bad. You know what I mean? But now, you can't even do that. So it's very hard to kind of get that lick unless he's trying to go to the hole and make a layup and you make him feel it on that part.
I'm saying, where's the Bernard Maxwells of the world?
Those days are gone, man.
I know.
Those days are long gone. If you want to see that, bro, you're going to have to go to the park.
Oh, yeah. They still like that in the park. I know that. I know that.
Still playing like that.
100%. Mitch, when I look back on your career, you're obviously a two-way player, one of the toughest guards to defend. Yeah. How would you fare in today's NBA? Do you ever think that, man, if I played today, First of all, with as many threes they're taking, I think the most you took in a single season per game was like 6.4. Nowadays, dudes are taking 10, 11 threes a game. You ever think like, man, if I was hooping now, no hand checking, guys can't touch you, I'd be averaging 33, 34 a game.
Man, I would be lying if I say I'd never think about that. Like, come on, man. Like, no question about it. I think it's just the evolution of the game. And if we were able to actually shoot more threes, no question about it. You know, I would have shot more threes, and definitely I can fare in this generation. I think the one thing that is different is back when we shot threes, you know, at that time we had big men that really kind of, you know, if you make a mistake and shoot a bad three, I think right now we see is a lot of bad 3-point shots. And you give the opportunity for the other team to come down and get a 2-point shot or a layup or whatever that is. But now both teams are shooting threes, so they kind of like, you know, wash each other out. Back then, you shoot a bad three, you go down and you got Elijah one dunking the ball down there or making an and one. You really kind of, when you shot a bad shot, you really made them pay for it. And that's why I think back in the day that you didn't try to shoot that many threes or try to take contested threes, because back on the other end, that was the whole idea was if they shoot a bad three, we're going down and we're attacking them right away. So you took advantage of those long shots. And you don't do that now because everyone is shooting threes. Nobody's posting up.
And Mitch, you talk about wish you can play in today's era. Can you imagine your boy to where if I drove to the basket and you couldn't touch me?
Yeah. Oh my God, man. You was a high flyer.
You be posterizing cats?
Over,
man,
bro.
Henry was a high flyer, man. People don't know. Henry was a high flyer. No question about it.
If I went to the rack and you couldn't touch me, it's over,
it's
bro.
Over.
You can forget it.
Going, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of guys, you know, especially in this generation, I hear Gilbert Arenas always, and I hear a lot of guys talking about, you know, it wasn't no athleticism, but it was a physical play of physical contact. So if we play with no hand check, I definitely the physical, definitely the athleticism is probably top tier now. But you're talking about guys that can really fly. They would have been able to get to the rack as well. It's just that we had defenses that we tried to make sure that we didn't let a guy get to the flight. You know, we tried to hold him down as much as we can before he gets into the air. And especially Michael. You know, Michael was one of those guys that he take 2 steps and he's in the air. So you want to try to keep your body on him before he takes flight.
You know, Mitch, I talk about the work ethic that you and Chris instilled in me early on in our careers, man. You know, I try to tell a lot of young guys, I said, you know, I had a chance to work out with 2 Hall of Famers my early years in the NBA. I said, these dudes worked out so much and so diligently. I was like, man, I don't even know if I want to be in the NBA, man, because you guys, y'all put in the work big time.
Right. Well, I think, you know, Henry, you got to give yourself a little credit because, you know, we used to battle at Salvation Army. That's where we used to practice at in the summertime. And we used to battle. And we had some guys that was, you know, local guys that was really, really good. But you were one of the guys that stood out. And no doubt that, you know, we were trying to get you on the team because of what you showed in the summertime of how you can defend and how you can play and how your game was. So, you know, you got to give yourself a little credit, man, because you showed yourself that you can play against anyone, and you got me ready every summer to get ready for the season.
Mitch Richmond, Hall of Famer, joining the Drive Guys, high flyer, Henry Turner, and Kyle Draper. Mitch, when you look at Northern California basketball, and I'm going to just say from 85 on when the Kings came here to Sacramento, when I look at a Mount Rushmore, the best players, obviously, you have to be on that list, not only for Sacramento, but Golden State as well. Steph Curry could be on there. Who else would you say representing Northern California basketball during your time and even today?
Oh, man. I mean, it's so many players. You know, definitely the 3, you know, Golden State as far as Tim Hardaway.
Yep.
You know, and then you go down the line where it was Spreewell. You know, Webb was one of those guys only played 1 year. Who else? Man, there's so many guys. And then you look at Sacramento, you got to put Cousins on there.
Yep.
As well. Who else is there? Man, there's so many great players. And Wayman Tisdale, who was one of the guys who played at Sacramento. That was one of those guys that was really good at that particular time. But yeah, no doubt the older heads, as far as who is Nate Thurman, all of those guys. I mean, it's so many guys that you can put on the list as well, no doubt.
Rich, Mitch, who was your vet when you came into the league? Who's that guy that took you under the wing?
Oh man, I had a great core of guys that really kind of molded me. I had the Animal, Larry Smith.
Ooh.
I had Terry Teagle. I had Rod Higgins, one of my great friends. At that time, Chris Mullin was one of those guys that was in the league before me. One of the guys that really people don't know our connection was Ralph Samson. Ralph Samson was the one guy that really kind of took me up on his wing as far as Rod Higgins and all those other guys. But, you know, Ralph, I would have breakfast with Ralph when we were at Golden State a lot. And he would just tell me about the league. He would tell me about the pitfalls. He would tell me about a lot of things that was going on around the league. And, man, I just really kind of took into I love having those talks with him and breakfast when he used to just tell me about a lot of things. And when I got inducted to the Hall of Fame, Ralph was one of those guys that inducted me because he was just a great influence on me.
Hey Mitch, you know the thing that's so crazy, bro, and I never knew that about you and Ralph. Right. But guess who was my guy here in Sacramento?
Who was that?
Ralph Samson and Rodney McCrae. We did the exact same thing.
Yes.
That's nuts.
Yes. Hey, I got a great story on that because at that time John Starks was a rookie with me at Golden State, and me and Ralph would have breakfast like, you know, every morning, and at that time, you know, all the rookies would have to, you know, tote the bags and do all of the dirty work. But John Starks always bucked at it. Like, I ain't doing nothing. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't say nothing. And I remember Larry Smith say, you know what? Since you ain't doing nothing, Mitch and all the other rookies, y'all don't do nothing. John, you gonna do everything. And so for that whole year, you know, me and Ralph would go out to eat and breakfast in the morning. And I can remember probably about 6 or 7 times into that, you know, John Stark came on the bus. He's like, man, I don't know who keep putting their breakfast on my room. You know what I mean? And I don't know who's doing that, but it was Ralph Samson who was because he would always say something to John, and John would be like, man, I ain't doing nothing. So Ralph said, okay. So every morning, everywhere we went, he would put our breakfast bill. He would put the bill on John Stark's room.
That's classic right there.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. No, but we had a great time though. It was fun. It was fun.
The Rock, Mitch Richmond, joining us. Mitch, you know, you bring up Ralph Samson, and there's a lot of talk about tall, skilled big men. We're seeing Victor Wembanyama. There's some who say, you know what, Ralph Samson was that guy and could have been that guy if the coaches allowed him back in the day to handle the rock. You know how it is back in the day. If you were a big man, you weren't handling the rock. Tell me about Ralph Samson. Educate the people on how great Ralph Samson was.
Man, Ralph was awesome, man, and he did want to play outside. And I think if he would have had the ability to really kind of work on his game like these big guys are doing now, and to show that they can shoot outside, Ralph would have been that guy. Because Ralph always liked to go between the legs. He likes to bring it up, and you know, he was so good. He was really good inside, but he wanted to show that I can do more than that. And at that time, the game was a totally different game. But you know, a lot of teams did not let him play that way.
Mitch Richmond joining us. Mitch, we got the in-season tournament. A couple more minutes here, and I'm gonna let you go, man. I appreciate your time. What do you think about this in-season tournament, man? $500,000 for each player if they win this thing.
Hey, come on, man. Hey, listen. Well, hey, for me, I think it's good because I think what the league is really and truly trying to do is a lot of teams, kind of rest their players and get ready for the last part of the season. Now, it shows you who's going to rest their guys. Like, are you really trying to win? Or are you just trying to, you know what I mean? Like now guys are really showing up and really showing out, and it's good for the Kings because I think, these teams like this, as far as when I played, we had a great season sometimes in the early part of the season. Mm. And then we kind of faltered at the end. And you see Sacramento is leading. And this gives a team a great boost. And it gives them something in the middle part of the season to be like, hey, man, why stop here? Continue to keep going. Why we stop here? And I think it's great. We still don't know what's going on. But, hey, in season, let's do it. I like it.
You know what, Mitch? KD asked me. He asked me about, coming out of the tunnel, how you prepare for a game. And I told him, I said, there's nothing else that we can do in life that gives us that exact same high as when we run out of that tunnel.
No question about it. No question about it. Yeah. I think, we always talk about players that are injured, and everyone has a little nicks and, cracks at every when you get ready to play a game. But for, you got to give credit to the Sacramento Kings as far as their fan base. I can remember I was sore. My knee was sore to the touch. But when I ran out on the court and saw the fans there, cheering us on, even though that we had some rough years, listen, man, I mean, that gives you motivation to get up and play hard each and every night. I knew I was going to bring it, but it gave me extra motivation to do what I do. And then, you just block everything out and play.
Mitch Richmond, final question before I let you get out of here. Yeah. Michael Jordan called you the toughest guy he's ever had to go against. Give me an MJ story. Like when you would go against Michael,
right?
Even in pregame warmups, did you ever look down and see him warming up and try to size him up? What was that moment like before you even took the court trying to prepare for a guy like Jordan?
No, my preparation for Michael was pretty much 2 or 3 nights before. Looking at a lot of film. And it's hard to look at a lot of film when a guy is touching the ball from all areas of the court and shooting 80% of their shots, but was so fluid and shooting 50%. So what I tried to do is just really try to watch film and try to see some of the things that he would like to do, even though that, you couldn't stop him, but you wanted to try to slow him down. So I had to, kind of put in the mindset of how am I going to guard him? You know what I mean? So I try to use my body as much as I possibly can against him and not let him come at me, not let him get a running start at me because that's when he was at his best. So, yeah, and then the pregame, no, I wasn't looking down there at that time. I was really focused and trying to get ready to be prepared because I know he's going to bring it. And people always ask me, man, did Mike ever say anything to you? Did y'all ever talk? I said, man, we never talked. We shook hands and we played, and we never said anything during the game.
No trash talk during the game and nothing, huh?
Nothing. No talking.
KD.
No nothing.
Hey,
no nothing.
You let sleeping dogs lie with the black cat.
Hey, man, yeah. You just keep playing, man. You play hard. I just always know if I play hard, and then I just have to live with the results at the end of the day. If I didn't play hard, then I know that I had something to give. But my whole thing, man, just by, when I started playing, I came from football, so I was a little physical. So I always played hard, but that got me over the hump. I wasn't a guy that could do a lot of talking unless the guy started talking shit to me. So that's all.
Mitch Richmond, on that note, we're going to let you go, my man. Hey, The Rock, I appreciate you, man.
I'm going to do a shout out to my guy because I know he's listening.
Yeah.
My insurance guy been taking care of me since I was at Golden State. Since I was at Sacramento, and I know he's listening right now. His name is Gary Hatano. He's still my insurance guy, so I know he's always watching. He's a big King fan, and he's always listening to you guys. So, hey, thank you guys for having me on, man.
Hey, Mitch, tell the family I say what's up, baby.
I will, man. I will do that. All right. That'll be good.
All right,
man.
Mitch Richmond, the Hall of Famer. Thanks so much, Mitch. When we come back, my guy Chris Haynes, hey, you know it's a big game. He's suited and booted. He looking nice tonight. He's going to be joining us. He's on that TNT broadcast. More of the Drive Guys with Drapes and the High Flyer next.